Griso. This is the original dash that I've had on this bike for over 180,000 kilometres. It has done the job really well overall. I mean, we've seen it pulled apart and the glass or plastic comes off reasonably easy. Trouble is that the seal around the side here has worn away. I think that is one integral part that sort of has led to the situation I've had, and to remove this you just use a wee knife, flat steel that you might use for computer stuff, and pull that off, and it's double-sided taped in there. And there's a couple of screws, so you've got a screw at the top and a screw that is a little bit lower down in this area here and here, and you take the board off, and I've cleaned it as I've probably shown you. From that we have found that the board, we'll put this back in here quickly, just softly, place that back on just in there. Okay, we'll plug this in and we'll just show you what has happened. So since doing the clean of the circuit board with a soft toothbrush and the spray, we put in a key, we turn the ignition on. You'll normally get a work through of the system, lights come on, does a sweep, and then you'll be able to start it. You can see here that the dash is only reading 0.02 volts, which is incorrect. We've got 548 kilometers on this dash, and that's how many kilometers this bike has done. The mighty 2006 Griso. Yeah, when we start the bike up, nothing happens. We'll just do that. Nothing happens in the sense that nothing changes as far as lights. We run the indicators and stuff, and there's nothing on the board. The rev counter also does not operate. Unfortunately, what that tells us is that using some electrical circuit board cleaner and a soft toothbrush to wipe over the board is not enough to have resolved and removed any of the material that the water has left inside the board. It's a really unfortunate part of the board where the moisture gets in there, but I have been so massively fortunate that locally been able to get a hold of a board, and that is just awesome. Blows my mind. It's almost unbelievable. But let's get that and we'll plug that in and we'll show you what actually should happen and how it works. So here we have the old board, the new one, or newish one. You can see it's newer because the numbers and stuff aren't as faded and so on. Thing is here too is that the seal that sits around the outside is nicely in place, which is good, and there's a slight bead of silicone just inside. You can sort of see it a little bit when I put a pressure on there. You might be able to see some of that silicone moving. I think to just to ensure that for the security of the board, because we know that they can leak, is we might just apply an extra little bead around this edge here, just to ensure that no moisture gets in. Because the other part of it is that on the back here there's two ventilation holes, and those ventilation holes allow for the board to measure the air pressure so that it can calculate fuel and air. So we've got the replacement board here plugged in, and we turn the key on. We get the warning lights, 12.2 volts, which is about correct. Temperature, clock needs setting, neutral. Of course, as you know from previous video, the side stand light is not going to come on because the side stand's been disconnected. We also have here 4,151 kilometers on this dashboard, so it means that whatever bike this was on, which I'm assuming it was probably a Griso 850 or 1100 cc, it's been used for a period of time, and for whatever reason no longer. So this is like magic. The only downside, and it's just so tiny, is that I don't have my 188,000 Ks on there, but if I do the maths, we can work it out as to where we're at once we reach the mighty 200,000 Ks. When you first put the dashboard in, it doesn't register with the keys. The keys have a wee microchip in them, and it registers with the ignition switch, which sends a signal to the dash that everything is all as it should be, as one. So once you have got the dash, it'll ask you to enter some numbers and a code. Enter that code. Once you've done that, you'll have to enter that code every time before you can actually start the bike, because it just won't let you start it. because the dash is integral to being able to get the machine going. You can go into the diag part of the dashboard where then you can change keys, and it will give you a prompt to enter your first key. You can then turn the first key off, put the next key in, turn it on. Dashboard will recognize the second key. You can do a third key. I've never had a third key, so I don't know how that works, but you can have a third key, complete that, and then it's all reset and we're good as gold. No problems at all. So all I need to do here with this one is reset the time, and we are, I think, most of it all good to go. I'm not sure about the TPS, whether that needs to be reset, whether that's connected to the ECU or whether it's connected to the dash here. No doubt they're probably all working together, but this is absolutely fantastically marvellous. So inside the dash here we've got a mounting plate which will mount onto that, and on that mounting plate is also at the back of it, just being careful here, we've got a temperature sensor, so that reads the temperature. So all these things work together. So we'll do the little bit of a bead of silicone around there just to ensure we've got a good seal so that moisture and stuff can't get in there. Then we will be all good and ready to rock and roll. On top of that we have the dash shroud. It's nice chrome. They did come out with a really delicious looking carbon fibre. So it had some accessories that they released for purchase aftermarket, which was a carbon fibre dashboard cover, carbon fibre front guard, a carbon fibre starter cover, and a carbon fibre where the union is. I was fortunate enough, I ended up buying the carbon there, and they had a steel which was the same colour as, you know, same stainless as that, so I just changed that out because I thought it would match up quite nicely with the Mistral exhaust. But we'll talk about all that another day. So all I need to do now is just marry all these things together, and so looking forward to getting this bike back on the road again and going mightily good. It's just such a fun, beautiful bike, just for easy fitting. We've removed the fly screen. It's tricky when you're working around this with trying to get your hands and fingers and everything else to get the screws and fit into the side where the dash is mounted onto this wee bracket here. It's not often you get a good chance to have a reasonable clean around this area. Look a little bit more crispy and clean, you know? Look at that nice reflection. You can see my reflection. Alright, first and foremost we've got the bracket that's mounted to the back of the dash. This plug here goes into here. This is for the temperature sensor in, and then you've got your plug for the dash which plugs into here. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. You can see I've put some silicone around. Hey look, it's not clear silicone, it's a grey silicone, but it's not going to show through anywhere. The main thing is just keeping the moisture out of the places that you don't want it. Next part is to mount the chrome surround. So now we just have to mount the screws to the back. That's the first time I've screwed it in so easily, but then again I don't have the screen on. Normally I don't bother taking the screen off, which is something that I should do every single time really. So we're mounted there, mounted on both sides. It's nice and solid as it should be, and now it's just a matter of fitting the top plate on. So we're all back together. Should be good.